Alright guys, today we're going to show you how to make your own sand scoop made out of PVC pipe. Something that's really inexpensive. I find it's really easy to work with, and it's also light to use. But enough about that, let's show you what you need.
Some PVC pipe, wood dowel, electrical tape, some drill bits, the drill, a heat gun, a jigsaw, miter saw, optional, some silicone, measuring tape, liquid cement. This is what we use for cutting it, which is pretty awesome. Works pretty good. You can cut your 45, and yeah. So let's put it all together. All right. So we, have crazy winters and have lots of time to spend inside, and we decided to spend some time building some scoops. We built a few of these actually, but these are the two models that we made. This one is based off the Diablo. It's the one that really stood out for us, just because of the size. On the beach, we don't have a pinpointer on the beach, and you would just want to grab a little bit more sand and pretty much have it for a scoop every time, depending if it's deep or shallow. But anything under 4 inches, you got no problem. The other one, we call it the Uniblo, which is the one we're going to show you how to make today. It's the same type of hole pattern that we have on this one, but this one is a lot smaller, works awesome. This is the one I use all the time, and we're going to show you how to make it. First step, we're going to measure the length of the bottom, and it is 8 1/4. Okay. So we already have the cut made 45 from the last one we made. So we're just going to go ahead and measure the length from the end here at the bottom over to where we want it, which was 8 1/4. Right. So 8 1/4, cut that. And that will be our scoop. Alright, so now we're going to look at how to make the backplate. Before we get to that, we're using 4-inch pipe. You can use 6-inch pipe, it'll be a little bit bigger, but I find with the 4-inch pipe, it's just a little bit more sturdier, and that's what we were getting at. We just wanted a smaller scoop and something really sturdy, especially this time of year, because the sand is still quite frozen, and you can dig quite well with this. Now, to hold the backplate in place, you need a couple pieces cut. As you notice, you have one on the outside here, and you also have one on the inside, and you just glue that with the liquid cement. But we just cut 2 pieces of the pipe, and that's what we'll use to glue them. Now, these don't actually fit inside the pipe, right? Because they're the exact same size. So you'll need to cut a little piece off just so that it fits in the pipe. For the backplate, we need to flatten out a piece of PVC pipe. So we went ahead and cut a piece already, but what we did, we didn't actually measure. We just took a piece of pipe, made sure we could cover the whole surface for the backplate, and we cut that off. Here we go. Now we're going to go ahead and cut it with the jigsaw so that we can flatten it out. Alright, so we got that cut. As you can see, it's pretty sturdy. You can't really unbend it. It's yeah, it needs to be heated up. And this is where the heat gun comes in play. Now, you can use a hair blower. We actually tried it. It was working, but it takes forever to heat up, and it takes quite a while. So we went ahead, purchased a heat gun, and it works a whole lot better. Alright, let's get to it. So we just took that piece that we heated up,
and we put it in between two boards. Use some clamps to hold it down. We're gonna leave it for about 2 minutes, and should be all straight. All right, so we got the flattened out piece now. So now what we need to do is get our size of what we need for the back plate. So as you can see, or can you see, we're just gonna take a marker, mark it, voila, and we're gonna cut that with a jigsaw. Alright, so we got the back plate all done, cut up, ready to go into our Uniblo. First things first, we're going to use these little rings. I'll get Chris to put them in. The first one goes in all the way at the bottom. And mind you, when you're putting it in, you want to put the glue, so you put some glue, put it in, but we'll show you that at the end when we put it all together. Oh, there you go. There you go. You've gone and done it.
I gonna done it again.
Alright, so you put that, put the back plate, and then you put the final piece. And that's how it's going to look like when it's all done. But before we get to that, we want to get all our holes done. It's a lot easier to do the holes in the back plate when it's not actually in place with the glue, because you're just pushing against the glue, and it's, you know, you want it strong when it's all done, right? So make the holes first. We're going to do the holes on the Uniblo body as well. And yeah, let's get to those holes. Here are the bits we're going to be using. The bigger hole is going to be a 5/8, which is just a little bit smaller than a Canadian dime. The other one is 5/16. And this is the hole pattern we're going to be using. Kind of looks like a cross. The bigger hole has the 4 smaller holes around it, and the smaller hole has the 4 bigger holes around it. Looks like a cross. Alright, let's put the pattern onto the Uniblo scoop and get some holes made. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is just make a line down the middle. We just went to the longest end here, kind of eyeballed it with the 90-degree at the end, and we made a line. So this is where we're going to put the holes to start off. Alright, so before you start making your holes, you do want to measure here for the back plate. When these pieces are all there, you don't want to start having holes in here. So you just take your measure there, and then you start your holes from there rather than going all the way to the end. So just take a quick measure.
That's about 3/4 of an inch.
3/4 of an inch. So we'll start the holes after that. Alright, so we made 3 holes so far. We do space it out a little bit. You do want to leave a little bit of material in between, just for that sturdiness again. So yeah, we'll keep going with the holes. So before we started the first hole, we measured 3/4 of an inch. We actually went a little bit more. We went closer to an inch. Reason being, we just want to make sure that we're clearing where the 2 rings and the back plate is going to sit. So we're making all the lines. We're going to get all those holes done. Let's see what it's going to look like with those holes in. Makes a mess, but here's the end product. We got the Uniblo scoop all holed up, ready to go. We just need a piece for reinforcement on the inside, and we're going to do the holes on the back plate now. Alright. Alright, so we're done the holes now in the back plate. We're going to clean up the mess, and we'll show you how to put it all in.
Got the shop vac. Got to clean up this mess. You know what they say, happy wife, happy life. Let's clean it up.
Alright, so before we start gluing everything together, we're going to cut up a piece, the reinforcement piece. This is when you start pulling on your handle, you get a little bit more support, so it's a little bit sturdier.
All right, so we have the piece here. So we're just gonna cut.
It's already cut in half.
It's already cut. All right, yeah. So just cut the piece here, and all right. So there you have it. All right, so now we're ready to start gluing. All right, so let's make the handle. So this is 1.25 inch PVC pipe. It's pretty sturdy. We found anything smaller than that, it was a little bit flimsy, and this is for the handle, right? So we want something a little bit more sturdier. It's a little bit bigger than your average handle for your shovel, your regular shovels, but it's still pretty good. I mean, the whole thing is very light, so it's really good. All right, so we got to cut this at a 30-degree angle in order to get the right angle onto your scoop. So we have the miter box already set to 30 degrees, and we're going to go ahead and make the cut. All right, so that's cut at 30 degrees. Now, when you put it onto the pipe, notice how the pipe has a roundness to it, right? The cut that we have is actually flat. So we're gonna need to shimmy some of this off here and here as well to make it sit onto the pipe. So when you put it on, it'll sit nice and firm compared to that. All right. All right, so that's all done now. So let's move on to the next step. Next, we take the wood dowel and we're gonna cut it at a 30-degree angle as well. Oh, we do have to plug it in first.
Need the power.
Now we're gonna cut it at about 3.5 inches. Alright, there you go. Alright, so the wood dowel goes in the end here, which is going to attach to the scoop itself. Now, notice when it goes in, it's quite loose. If you can find the wood dowel that fits perfectly into here, great. If you can't, what we do, we just put electrical tape around it, enough that it fits in tight. And again, this is what's going to be your support for your scoop to be attached to your handle. This is what's going to be the strength of the scoop. Oops, don't lose it in there. All right, so once we put it in, we're going to put some screws on the side here so that it stays in place. And then from there, we're going to put a screw right through the scoop into here. All right, let's get to it. All right, so the length of the handle is really up to you, what you want. Me personally, I like it at about 42 inches. That's what I found was the best for me. I'm 6 feet tall, so again, it's gonna depend on what you want, right? Find your comfort zone and cut it where you want. Right. So that's gonna be the handle. Now, if you notice on this end here, you've probably seen the picture, but let's just show you. Just like that here. So when you put that on, the screw goes right in there. It's nice and tight, but we haven't put the screws in here yet, which we're gonna do right now. Okay, so we have the screws in. We put one on each side. That's nice and solid in there now. Okay, so it's time to put it all together. All right, so everything is attached. It's pretty close to being final. So we put the screws here to hold the dowel in so that it doesn't move around inside the pipe. And then if you can see, we put 3 screws. We just use deck screws, and that goes in right into the wood dowel and makes it nice and sturdy. So I'm pressing down on it
no problem. You can put some pressure. It's really good. So now all that's left to do is put some silicone on it. And that's it. She's done. Alright, let's get that done. And we'll show you the final result.
Here is the Uniblo all done. Got the silicone on there. Everything's all dried up and glued. Looks good. Can't wait to use it. Here you go.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, because we definitely had fun making it. If you end up making a scoop for yourself, we'd like to see it. So please follow us on Twitter, and you can also like our page on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe, and have yourself a great time.